Hi everyone, my name is Terry G. This is an alcohol-free life channel. What we do here is we build awareness about alcoholism, and I share my experience, strength, and hope. If you want to get involved in the conversation, please subscribe. Let's get to the video. What this video is about today is about something that a lot of people in recovery have when they come in to a 12-step program, smart recovery, whatever it is. They have low confidence. Yeah, oh yeah. They might act like they have high confidence, but I know you don't. But the one thing a lot of people feel is a bad case of the poor me's. The world has got me down. I feel depressed. I'll never have another wife. I'll never have a job or a car. I'll never get out of the mess I'm in. I understand why you're like that. Because who comes into recovery feeling like $1,000,000? I know myself. I had the cops after me, I had charges. I had the bank after me, outstanding loans. I had an ex-wife that wouldn't let me see my kids. I basically had nowhere to live and I was unemployed. I get it. I understand that. But 99% of people who come into recovery are basically the same. Basically the same. We're just shit out of luck, right? We have a lot on our plate. And we have a lot of good reasons to feel like the poor me's, like a victim. And alcoholism states that it's an illness, right? So basically it just came to us, right? It's like cancer or diabetes or whatever. We just got alcoholism and our life became crap. I understand that. But I just want to make a point. I just want to make a point before I move further in the video. When we see people who are, they might think they're know-it-alls or they're arrogant, or they think they're better than somebody. What do we call that? We call that self-centeredness, right? That's what we call it, right? When you're thinking about yourself all the time and not helping others, that's self-centeredness. That's obvious to a lot of people, right? But there's another end to self-centeredness. Self-centeredness is also the other side. When you feel like a victim, when you feel like a poor me, when you feel like you're the one with all the problems and you're never going to get better. That's other end of self-centeredness. Self-absorbed thinking that you're not going to get better or you're not going to have the things you're so-called entitled to. All those sort of things you want is a very self-centered way of thinking. And because of that way of thinking, and if you stay like that, right? Or when I stayed like that, for sure, I stayed stuck. I stay stuck. My kids don't want to see me. I don't have a job. I'm on welfare. All those sort of things kept me very stuck in that sick, dry, drunk, self-centered way of life. And if I told people my history or my life, some of them would agree. Terry G, you have a right to feel bad about yourself. You are a victim of life. Look at you. Look at all the things you survived. You should have a trophy how great you are, how you endured life. But really, the real answer is that I was an alcoholic. That's all. Yeah, shit happened to me. I get it. Shit happened to me. I did shit to people. I did crap to other people. But the reality of it is, that is not the way it is today. When I went into a 12-step program at one time in my life, or a smart recovery program, my life wasn't like that. It was all up in here. It was all up in here. And I needed to change that. If I was going to get better in my life, I needed to change the way I saw myself. That's what I needed. Multiple decades or years of drinking enabled me to pound the living daylight out of myself and feel like a failure. It reinforced my childhood, it did all those kind of things. But you know something? It's not their life. It's not your life. It's not my parents' life. It's not my friend's life. It's not my ex-wife's life. It's my life. And that's where you have to start. Whose life is it? And if you want to have a great life in recovery, you need to get off your ass, stop whining about whatever happened in the past, and do something about it. Because if you do nothing about it, it will stay the same. Believe me, it will stay the same. What you think of on a daily basis usually comes to fruition. It really does. So the first thing I had to do in my recovery was something that a lot of victims find hard to do. And that is this. Just ask for help. Just ask somebody to help you. It can be a therapist. It can be somebody in a 12-step program. It can be a best friend. It can be EAP at work. Whoever it is. And start talking and start telling people how you feel, how you see yourself in the world around you. And you will be amazed once you turn that corner and just say to yourself, I am not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this. Yeah, it happened, but I'm not doing this anymore. Sobriety in a 12-step program kept me sober. There's no doubt about it. It kept me sober. Working, doing things for other people, all that stuff helped me not feel like a victim anymore. Going to detox centers helped me. I compared myself a little bit. I'm not like that guy on the street. I started to say to myself, maybe I'm not doing so bad. I stayed sober. My sponsor said, Terry, you should get a job. I got myself a little job. I started to get paid. And because I started to get paid, I was able to rent a room. And when I rented a room, I got enough money to rent an apartment. And before you knew it, I started feeling responsible for my life. I start feeling responsible. You are not a victim. The world is not against you. You don't wake up in the morning and the world is against you. That's impossible. You're not that important. Just like me, I'm not that important. But if you stay sober and you do what other people have done in 12-step programs, go to a little counseling, ask for help, get off your ass, force yourself to stop thinking negative about yourself, thinking about the world that, your past life has made you the way it is, feel like a victim, have resentments against yourself, all that sort of things. You will feel better. You really will. You are not a bad person. I am not a bad person. I am a person with experiences that through drugs and alcohol, I didn't process properly. Because I will tell you something, if I wasn't an alcoholic, there's no way I'd even be doing these videos. There's no way. Because my issues that I had would have been fixed long before I turned 30. My alcoholism had a lot to do with my poor me's and feeling like a victim. Being an alcoholic, being a drug addict, naturally sets us up for disaster. It feeds our negativity, our negative views of ourselves. It feeds that. And that's why a lot of us come in to programs, 12-step programs or Smart Recovery or whatever it is, NA or whatever CA, and feel so low because the addiction is always reinforcing negative behavior and negative thought patterns. And once you understand that, you can get yourself out of that situation and work on it. For me, it took about 5 or 6 years, but every day it got better. Every day I stayed sober. I worked the program. I did what I was told in a 12-step program. Things got better. I got a little active. I helped set up. I shook hands at the door. I did all those things that I wouldn't normally do. Poor me is in here. It's not out in the world. It's right in here. And the more things you do for other people, the more things you do for yourself in a positive way, you'll get out of it. But if you're sitting there crying in your soup every day, good luck. Because you know where you're going? You're going back out to the drink. That's where you're going. Or back out to the drugs. Because the only thing that'll soothe that poor me or that victim way of thinking is a drink or a drug. That's what happens to us. It really does, okay? Thanks a lot for stopping by. Get out there, do something about it, get off your ass, and stop feeling so negative and so bad about yourself. Because there's a way out. And that the first thing is you got to ask for help and take action. Once you ask for help, the gates start opening up, and before you know it, there's tons of it, and you start feeling better about yourself because you'll realize you're not the only one. You're not. My name is Terry G. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Like I said earlier, if you want to get involved with the conversation, please subscribe, leave a comment below, okay? I'll see you next time. God bless. Ciao for now.